Hello and welcome to the Learn English Lab. I'm Mike and I'm excited to be here today for a deep dive into something really fascinating, lifelong learning.
And I'm Sarah. I'm so glad to be here with you today to help guide us through this topic as we kind of explore why it matters and how to make it a part of your life.
Yeah, it's interesting. We spend all this time in school, right? Learning and soaking it all up. But then for a lot of us, it's like that drive to learn, it kind of just goes away after school. Like we've hit the finish line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's easy to fall into routines and responsibilities and forget about learning. But what's really interesting is that stepping out of those routines to learn new things can actually be a huge boost for your brain. It's like rewiring your neural pathways.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really? So tell me more about that.
Well, for instance, research from Harvard found that learning a new language can actually increase gray matter volume in the hippocampus, which is the area of the brain that's responsible for forming new memories. So you're not just learning vocabulary, you're literally changing your brain.
Wow, that's incredible. So it's kind of like working out, but instead of building muscles, you're building up your brain. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And those reserves are what help us stay sharp as we age. It's like investing in a cognitive 401k. The more you put in now, the more you'll have to use later. And it's not just about preventing memory decline either. Lifelong learning can also really boost your self-esteem and your overall well-being.
Yeah, that makes sense. When you challenge yourself and you master something new, that feeling of accomplishment can be incredibly empowering.
Absolutely. And you shouldn't underestimate the social benefits either. Imagine joining a pottery class and discovering a hidden talent. But you also connect with a community of other creative people. Lifelong learning opens doors to unexpected friendships and shared passions.
Yeah, you're totally right. Like building your own tribe of people who think like you do and who are excited about the same things that you are. And let's be honest, who doesn't love to geek out with people who totally get it?
Exactly. And on the topic of getting it, employers really value that commitment to growth. Taking courses, even if you're not going for a full degree, shows that you're adaptable and that you're eager to learn new skills. And that's a big plus in today's world.
Yeah, especially in such a fast-changing job market.
Yes.
So think about a skill that you've always wanted to learn, but it maybe seemed a little bit intimidating, like coding or public speaking. What if we looked at breaking that skill down into smaller steps so that it could be more achievable? That's part of the power of lifelong learning. You can actually overcome those mental hurdles.
Absolutely. And those skills that might seem intimidating at first can be the key to opening up new opportunities, like a promotion, a career change, or even just feeling more confident.
But I think that's something a lot of people don't think about. Lifelong learning is not just about acquiring knowledge, it's about applying it in the real world.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be just formal education either. It can be as simple as trying out a new hobby like photography, or even just reading books and listening to podcasts to expand your knowledge.
Right? It's about being curious and asking questions and looking for new perspectives.
And the great thing is that it doesn't have to cost a lot of money or be super formal. There are so many free resources available online, like educational videos and open source learning platforms.
That's such a good point. There are so many amazing opportunities to learn just a click away. You could literally learn anything you want from anywhere in the world.
It's really incredible. And I think that accessibility is what makes this whole idea so empowering. It's about taking control of your own learning journey and choosing what excites you and making it work for you.
Okay, so we've talked about how lifelong learning is good for you. It's easy to access and it can even be fun. But how do we actually make it happen? How do we stop saying, I'm too busy, and actually make time for learning in our busy lives?
That's a great question. And I think it starts with changing our perspective. Instead of thinking of learning as something we have to do, let's start thinking of it as something we get to do.
Yeah, I love that. It's like turning it from a chore into a privilege, a chance to explore things that really make you excited.
Exactly. It's like rediscovering that wonder and excitement we all felt when we were kids learning about the world for the first time.
I love that. It's like being that kid again who's always asking why and is just excited to explore new things. It's about getting that passion for discovery back.
And when you start to think about learning like that, it becomes an adventure, not a chore.
Okay, so we've talked about changing our mindset. But what about some practical advice? What are some specific ways that we can make lifelong learning a part of our daily routines?
That's where setting goals comes in, but not those overwhelming New Year's resolution type goals. I'm talking about figuring out what you're passionate about and setting realistic, smaller learning goals.
Okay, so maybe instead of saying, I'm going to learn a new language this year, you could say, I'm going to spend 15 minutes every day practicing Spanish on Duolingo. Is that what you mean?
That's a perfect example. It's about breaking down those big goals into smaller, more manageable steps that you can actually fit into your schedule, even if it's only for a few minutes each day.
This is really making sense to me. It's like that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But in this case, it's a journey of lifelong learning that starts with one small, manageable step.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to try different ways of learning. Some people learn best in a structured classroom environment, while others prefer to learn on their own through books or online resources. The important thing is to find what works for you and make it part of your life.
So it's about finding what works best for you and not getting caught up in what you think you should be doing. It's about making it work for you, your life, and your own unique way of learning.
Absolutely. And remember, it's not just about taking in information, it's about actually using it. Look for opportunities to use your new skills in your job, your hobbies, or even in your everyday conversations. That's where the real magic happens, when learning turns into action and personal growth.
This is so important. It's not about just storing up knowledge, it's about actually using it and seeing how it can make a difference in your life and in the lives of others.
And don't forget to celebrate your accomplishments along the way. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a win worth recognizing. And that positive feedback can help you stay motivated and committed to your lifelong learning journey.
I love that. Giving yourself credit for every success, no matter how big or small. It's about recognizing how far you've come.
And speaking of progress, I think it's important to remember that lifelong learning isn't about reaching a final destination. It's about the journey.
It's like we're all always a work in progress, constantly learning and growing. And that's a beautiful thing.
It really is, because it means we have the power to become the best versions of ourselves, no matter what stage of life we're in.
And it's never too late to start that journey. Whether you're 20 or 80, there's always something out there to discover, something that can spark your passion and make your life better.
And that's exactly the message we want to leave our listeners with today. The power of lifelong learning is within your grasp. It's a gift you give to yourself, a gift that keeps on giving.
So take that first step. Explore what makes you curious and see where it takes you. You might be surprised by what you discover.
And remember, the Learn English Lab is here to support you every step of the way. So until next time, keep your minds open and keep learning.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Happy learning, everyone.
It's like we never actually get there. You know, there's always more to learn and more to explore and more to become.
Yeah, like you climb to the top of a mountain. And then all of a sudden, you can see all these other mountains in the distance. And you just want to climb them too.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And just like somebody who climbs mountains all the time, a lifelong learner is resilient and adaptable. You know, they learn how to deal with challenges and they embrace new things.
Yeah.
And they actually find joy in the process of growing and learning.
So it's not just about getting to the end. It's about enjoying the whole process, even the mistakes and the detours.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what keeps it interesting. It keeps us from getting stuck in a rut and keeps our minds flexible and engaged. And it makes sure that we're constantly changing and improving as people.
You know, it's funny. We often think of learning as something we do alone. But you've really pointed out how important the social aspect of learning is too.
Yeah.
You know, connecting with people and sharing ideas and inspiring each other. It's like this awesome energy comes from when people get together to learn and grow.
Definitely. And think about how that can affect your life. Not just in your career, but in your personal life too. You become a more interesting person. You're more well-rounded. You have more to talk about in conversations and more to share with the world.
And that confidence, that curiosity, it rubs off on other people. People are drawn to people who are passionate about learning and improving. So you're not just benefiting yourself, you're inspiring the people around you to do the same.
It's like starting a wave of good changes that spreads out from you to your family, your community, and even further.
I really like that idea. A ripple effect of positive changes. It's like this beautiful thing where one person's passion for learning inspires someone else. And then that person inspires someone else and it keeps going.
And you know, something that stops people from really embracing lifelong learning is this idea that it has to be really expensive or take up a lot of time.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. People think they have to go back to school and get another degree and spend tons of money, but it doesn't have to be like that, does it?
No, not at all. Actually, some of the best learning experiences happen outside of traditional classrooms, you know? We're talking about using all the amazing free resources online and having interesting conversations and just paying attention to the world around us.
So it's like being really curious and observant, always open to new ways of thinking and understanding things.
Exactly. And it's about taking initiative, you know, searching for information and trying new hobbies and asking questions.
Yeah.
It's about developing that thirst for knowledge and letting it lead you.
It's like giving yourself permission to always be learning. to really embrace that journey of discovering and growing.
You got it. And it's never too late to start. Whether you're 20 or 80, there's always something new to discover, something that can light a fire in you and make your life better.
And that's what we really want our listeners to understand, that anyone can be a lifelong learner. It's for everyone.
It's a gift you give yourself, and it keeps on giving. It makes your life richer in so many ways.
So to everyone listening, we want to encourage you to accept that gift. Take that first step. Explore what you're curious about and see where it leads you. You never know what you might find.
And don't forget, the Learn English Lab is here to help you every step of the way. We're all about lifelong learning, and we're excited to share what we know and help you along the way.
So keep your minds open and never stop learning. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Happy learning, everyone.
Yeah.
It's like we're taught that learning ends when you finish school. But that's not really true, is it? Our brains are designed to keep learning and adapting our whole lives.
Yeah, that's so true. It's like we have this amazing ability to constantly learn and change and become even better than we were before.
And the more we use that ability, the more we realize that learning isn't just about stuffing our heads with information. It's about looking at things in new ways and questioning what we think we know. And it's about becoming more well-rounded people.
It's about being curious and trying new things and finding joy in discovering new stuff.
So it's not just what we learn, it's how we learn. It's about holding on to that love of learning that we all had when we were kids.
And the cool thing is, the more you learn, the more you realize there's even more out there to learn. It's like opening one door that leads to a whole bunch of other doors, and each one is just waiting to be opened.
It's like when you get lost in a really good book and you completely forget about time because you're so caught up in the story. That's the kind of magic that happens when you really embrace learning.
I totally agree. And the best part is that this journey of learning is for everyone. It doesn't matter how old you are or where you come from or how much education you have.
That's such a good point. It's about making sure everyone has the chance to experience how powerful learning can be.
And one of the best things about being a lifelong learner is that it affects every part of your life. You become a better communicator and a more understanding listener and a more involved member of your community.
It's like those positive changes spread outward, making your relationships and your community and even the world a better place.
Exactly. And that's why we're so excited to be talking about this with you today. We want to inspire you to find joy in learning and discover how much you're capable of.
So if you're feeling stuck or like you want something more or you just want to feel that spark of curiosity again, we encourage you to just take that first step. Try something new. Sign up for a class. Pick up a book. Have a deep conversation. The possibilities are endless.
And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. It's about facing the challenges and celebrating the wins and enjoying the whole experience.
And remember, the Learn English Lab is here to support you on your journey. We're a community of lifelong learners, and we're here to share what we know and help you along the way.
So until next time, keep your minds open, keep learning, and never forget that anyone can be a lifelong learner.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Happy learning, everyone.